Good afternoon. Welcome to Everything Tilted. It's your boy Wheezy. And today we have...
NT Builds, known as Naomi.
And
Jewel, known as Nelltheblasian.
how are you guys doing today?
I'm good.
Bad.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of this weather, I'm not going to lie. So it's kind of cold.
Sure, it's the Midwest, girl. Nothing you can do. Nothing we can do about that.
You right?
But what cars do you guys have?
Go ahead, Katie.
I'm about to tell you guys can go
gosh.
back and forth. It
All
don't
right,
matter.
well, I have a 2013 Hyundai Genesis Coupe 2.0T. So, I mean, she's down right now. So, hopefully by next season she'll be up and running. But
She'll be back next season. We ain't got to worry about that. How about you?
I have a 2019 Camaro, and it's a V6.
Why you emphasize V6 like that?
Oh, because the trend is our little trend. A V6 did that. There's a lot of V6 haters.
That sounds kind of personal. We should kind of tap into that a little bit. Like, what do you mean? Is that more into the Camaro community that is the V6 thing, or is it more of a muscle car thing?
I think it's a thing just in more, I would say more in muscle cars, especially like Camaros and like Chargers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because everybody's about power. Like, if you're not into like specifically show cars, all they care about is power. So like they see my car and they're like, "Oh, you have a V6." Like, it's just a hate against V6s, and like I truly don't understand it, but like I love my V6. I love the gas mileage I get, and obviously I still bring my car out to the track. I do what I have to do to like get my car seen, and I wouldn't say like it's a personal thing because I'm not affected by like people hating my car. It's just funny.
I honestly think it's more of just, I kind of view it more of as a, I guess you could say, a Civil War thing. It's kind of like, oh, we're on this side, we're on that side. And it's like, it's the same car though. Mm-hmm. It's just, okay, I have this engine platform, you have this one. It's kind of like turbos versus nitrous and superchargers,
Yeah,
it's like you pick one, and that's what you fight with. It's pretty much it.
One thing I feel like people forget about my car is I'm building my car as a show car. So like when I got my car, obviously I knew I was getting a V6. It's not about like I couldn't afford a V8.
Yeah.
It's just I wanted that one because there was never any plans to do anything with like power, because that's something like, some people might not like it, but that's something I just don't care for. That's why, like, I haven't done any engine mods yet because that's not my priority. Now, is it in the plans maybe later on? Yeah, sure. But, like, as far as, like, putting more power in the car, I don't see a point in that, because when you look at it, like, when will you actually have a chance to show off that power legally? Like,
You never do.
Yeah, exactly.
You never do.
So most of these people, they're always talking about like, oh, like I could beat you in a race. I could do this. Like my car has more power, but like you're just going to do it on the streets illegally. And like I refuse to do that because I refuse to be put in a category the same as takeovers.
Right.
So like, some people might not agree, but like I see street racing as being an issue that cops more than likely categorize with takeovers.
Right.
So it's like, I'll go on the track. I'll do burnouts with my car. I'll race people, even if I know I'm going to lose. But, like, I'm not going to do that on the streets.
I just say this as a kind of a little bit of a rebuttal. The whole thing of it is just you shouldn't let people pocket watch off of what you do. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're going to buy a V6 and that's what you want, buy a V6, do what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you going to buy me a V8? Shit. With that being said, you're going to buy me a Lambo? I will gladly take it. But I'm not going to sit here and listen to you based off what I want to do with my car.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but if you're buying it to be a show car, you're the only person that can pretty much take it in. No one can tell you anything. It's like, hey, this is my car. This is what I'm doing. But this is my V6,
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of going into another category. I know you dealt with this too, Naomi, where people are like, oh, you should do this to your car. You should, like, engine swap it, LS swap it. I always tell people, I'm like, I mean, if you buy it, I'll do it. But, like, other than that, it's like, what? I don't get it. Like, why people always, I guess that's always going to be a thing, but like, like why people feel like they can tell me what to do with my car.
It's because it's trendy. A lot of it is trendy. And then also, a lot of people think their opinion matters more than everybody else's. Like, oh, I feel like you should have a Subaru. Like, why do I want a Subaru, Jay? It makes no sense. You know, it's pretty much it. Is how I can say it. You know, you're gonna build what you want, and you build what you want. I'm looking at it pretty much as it's your Picasso. What do you want to paint? Not, oh, Naomi wants you to paint this. You need to paint what you want. If Naomi likes it, great. If not, okay, thank you, you know, for your opinion. It's pretty much how you got to look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, and I'd like to add into that because, I mean, with social media, I think hiding behind a screen, too, is very easy. So you could, I know I have to kind of make eye contact you under the microphone stand, but I have to say with being, you know, under a faceless account, it's easier to input your opinion. I mean, I can relate to that. I drive a Hyundai. I get a lot of hate for driving a Hyundai, a Genesis coupe for that matter. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you're right. It is your Picasso. It's your... For me, I like to say it's an extension of my personality. Right. I think if you look at the car, I mean, multiple people have said, this car fits you. And I think my persona, and I would say your Camaro also is an extension of yourself. And I can't see you driving any other car.
I really can't.
Yeah, I can't see myself either.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, you're always going to get people that input what they think you should do. But as Weezy said, it's you. It's what you want to do. And
man, it's the me. I want to be in here. I want to have some input. It's always going to be a part of it. It's never going to stop, no matter what you say. Maturity also plays a factor in a lot of it too. But it's like, it is what it is. I'm tired of talking about it with certain people. You know, it's a waste of time. But also Naomi, to kind of input on it. I don't think it's necessarily the hate for Hyundai. I think it's the sister company in Kia and what Kia has been kind of dealing with lately. They've been dealing with so much animosity to, you know, car thefts and
Kia
the
boys.
fact of not
USB cables,
not taking care and actually building a safety device for a car like they need to. Like, hey, I think you need an immobilizer in there. Oh, no, we don't need this. We sell so many cars. And we find a TikTok trend of people taking the car with a USB cable.
right?
That's wild.
You know, they're catching fire. You know, you see that.
It's well deserved. Well deserved. Like, Hyundai needs it. Like, learn from this. Adjust from it. Learn from it. But what have they done? Oh, we're still selling Sonata N's out here. Like, nothing. They don't care.
Right.
But that's more or less most manufacturers, though. A lot of them don't care. As long as they make money, they pretty much done as a whole. Pretty much how they run. It's sad, though, because you spend a lot of money on these cars to pretty much be like that.
Right.
But no, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's necessarily hate. You probably deal with it a lot, though, sadly. I don't know why, but yeah.
I think most of the time when you see a Genesis coupe, some, you know, they're clapped out. Some of them are clapped out, but I think it goes for all builds too. But again, it being a Hyundai, what does Hyundai really have? We had the Genesis coupe, the Tibbies,
The Velosters.
I can't recall anything else. Am I missing anything?
Not sports car wise.
Yeah,
no.
not sports car wise.
I think that's pretty much because if the in cars are kind of more newer to things like the Sonatas and Velosters.
Their Elantra.
And the Kona. I think the Kona is the latest one, but that's because Hyundai wants to go into the sports car realm because Subaru, Mitsubishi, and them no longer exist to really have a competitive car to really match with them. So it's like, oh, well, we're going to build our version of a car that can compete with the M car. They really don't compete with them, but they are sporty and they're pretty quick to what they are. I mean, the newer WRX is there, but how long is it there for is the question to really look at with that. So that's why I'm like, that's why I mark Subaru off as a whole. Subaru lost their identity once Mitsubishi left. As much as people want to argue with me, it stopped then because the VAs became the Evo 10. If you look at it from a comparison, we're going to take this blue Sharpie. It's pretty much what it became. It's always been a driver's car, though. So,
I mean, I think that's what a lot of car companies are doing too nowadays. It's more for the consumer, and I mean, unfortunately, we're going EV now. So,
I don't want to talk about
yeah,
it.
I know. So,
That's
I know.
touchy subject.
I'm very, very opinionated about EVs as a whole, at least for the cost for consumers, is still too high right now. So it's still infancy. So it's like, okay,
I
slowly.
can tell you, like, now working at a dealership, it's only going to go up in prices from what I've seen. Because I know, like, right now, the, like, Chevy Blazers, they make those EVs, and those are slowly, like, coming into dealerships.
Yeah.
So, like, the ones they have right now are going for, like, 60 grand, which I think is crazy.
Oof.
And I'm like,
That's crazy.
Oof.
like, I know they're in the works of making like Equinoxes and stuff like that EV, and those are starting off like the basic like LTs are gonna start at like 35 grand, and like, you know, the better versions like or models you get, the higher they're gonna be. And I'm like, that's insane. And I think Chevy's trying to keep up with EVs. So this is just like my opinion. And I don't know if it's 100% true, but I know that's one of the reasons, or I believe that's one of the reasons why they discontinued Camaros. Because I read something that said like they want to focus on like EVs. And I think that's absolutely heartbreaking. Like, and because of that, you know, like the Camaros discontinuing and stuff, I read an article too saying that like the prices, or, you know, like it spiked by like 110% because everyone's trying to cop a Camaro now they know it's gone.
It's
same
a
for like
car.
same for like what is it?
Mustangs,
Chargers,
Chargers.
Challengers. No, I think Mustang's still in the play. I know
For now.
Chrysler 300s are done now too.
Yep.
So like, you know, no matter how you look at it, with those cars, all the ones that are discontinuing, everybody's going to try to charge an arm and a leg now, especially on Facebook Marketplace and stuff. I believe like dealerships are still keeping it a fair price and stuff, but it's like you're going to find little to nothing now, like, which is sad. But like, I personally, I'm not a fan of EVs. I don't like the idea of having it, especially in the car scene. Like, no hate to anyone who has the EV in the car scene, but it's like, just imagine a whole car show is nothing but like silence because no one has any sound to their car anymore. Like
random plug. I called it a batteries plus convention. That's pretty much what I call it, because it's like, bruh, there's no fun with them.
No.
I kind of get into that vibe that they're soulless. You don't have that connectivity to the road. You don't really have much to really build upon as a platform. Like, okay, I could put a bigger energy cell in here. How is it going to handle the cold? How is it going to handle being on the track? How are the tires going to handle? Because you get odd specs in some, like basing off like the Tesla Plaid. Those are 19s. Those are not 18s. Should I go bigger to a 20? Because that's a lot of weight being distributed and rotating mass. It's like, okay, I'm not going to be able to put down this number. Don't get me wrong. Seeing it run like a 9.7, cool, but it deleted everything else out of the back to get that. So it's like, can I do this with seats in here? Can I do this with a functioning radio, turn signals? Like, those are real questions moving forward that we really need to think about. But with Chevy, I feel it's more, the Corvette has always been Chevy's darling.
Yeah.
When it compared to the Camaro. It's like, I don't know. It's more of like a joke. When I look at it, if the Camaro's starting to inch up on the Corvette a little bit, okay, it's time to go. It's pretty much how they do it. And you can look at Chevy as a whole, or GM as a whole, looking back, like the GNX. Granted, it's going to make me sound old as fuck as I say it, but it's the GNX. They were the Grand Nationals. They had T-Type, twin turbos, or turboed, I believe. That was faster than the C4 Corvette. Killed it literally months afterward. They had the Trailblazer SS, they killed it, Chevy SS, G8s. They don't like anything being close to the Corvette. It has just been a staple. They'd be like, oh, we love these cars, but why you keep killing them then if you do care about them? The Camaro's always been successful. They killed it back in the Catfish to the current gen, I guess to the 5th gen bodies. Catfish was always lighter. A lot of 4th gen owners hate the 5th gen. They love the 6th gen here and there, but it's like, she fat. Pretty much how they look at it compared to the 4th gen. But I mean, the 4th gen also is ancient. Like, I shouldn't be getting asbestos in my seat versus an airbag. You know, that's the argument to compare, because it shows how much different the car is there. But I think it's I wouldn't say it's temporary. It may be something that they want to see how they get into electric before they bring it back. It's not going to come back as a combustible.
Yeah,
It'll probably come back as a hybrid.
And like that's one thing I kind of like thought about too, because I know I saw stuff that's saying like this is not goodbye forever and stuff. But I'm like, do I want to see a Camaro as an electric vehicle? I'm not sure about that. I love Camaros and want to still see them around, but like I don't know if I would be like, I guess like satisfied seeing them as electric, because I feel like that just loses the whole purpose of a Camaro.
I don't think you will. You wouldn't, because you have a combustible.
Buy it. Yeah,
you have a combustible.
Buy it, but like I don't know.
Like you have the combustible, so it's like I'm not gonna do this shit.
Yeah.
Like I have the predecessor to it, but
it's gonna change the whole look of it too. Like I've like all these electric cars, like minus like Tesla, because they always had their own look. But like when you look at like
built like boats,
yeah, they just have a different look to them, and it's like you can clearly tell like that's an electric car. And like I feel like doing that to like a muscle car, like say like
it kills it.
If like a Charger and Challenger try to do that as well, I would just look at it and be like, what the hell? Like, you know, like that's why I'm like, I don't know if I would be satisfied seeing it back as an electric. I don't know. I feel like it's a bad choice, but
it's more of just something that I think it's still too early to tell. Yeah. And also they kind of, at least with the big three, at least with the UAW, not even bringing the union and politics in it, but more of like Ford, Chevy, and Stellantis, Chrysler. But to bring them into it, they tend to base each other off of who's doing what. With the Mustang still being around, it's going to force GM and Chrysler to kind of have something to compete with it. At least the Dark Horse Mustang is a great car for what it is. I personally prefer the S550 over the S650 because it looks like a Camaro, in my honest opinion. So I just prefer it because Ford got everything right. And again, I got a shameless plug here. I drive a Subaru. So anybody watching this, they say, oh, Jay's talking about Mustang. I drive a fucking Subaru. So I don't personally, I just look at it from the sense of Ford getting everything right. They finally got something right in a platform that didn't break. I have independent rear suspension. They got something right. Because compared to the foreign automakers, they've been kicking their asses when it comes to suspension, drivetrains, and stuff like that anyway. Because now they want to go into turbos and shit now because they realize the Japanese cars or the Germans have been doing it forever. I've yet to see a Chevy Cruze dog walk a Golf R yet. But when it happens, first foremost, I'm going to cut off my Xbox and I'm going to go my ass back to sleep. It's pretty much how I look at it. And Naomi, I'm assuming you want to say something on that. You want to touch on this, don't you?
Touch on what?
On that whole debate of that Mustang. You want to chime in on that or no?
No, I agree.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, Ford's been kicking ass. I agree, and I love the S550s. I think that's personally one of my favorite models. And the Dark Horse, I think, is pretty badass. For the price, I don't know, but
that's GT350 money, girl.
I take a GT350 over the Dark Horse, but yeah, no, Ford's definitely got it down, and no, I totally agree.
Me, what about you, Joel? Like, what do you think? I know your bow tie, lovely, but still, what would you say other than the Chevy between the Mustang, Charger, Challenger? Yes, I know they come with a stigma, so I'm gonna just say this now. Do you like? I wouldn't say own, but like outside of the umbrella.
So if I had to choose out of any of those, I'm gonna compare. Like I don't know, like
compare anything. Don't matter.
I'm not a fan of Chargers and Challengers. Like when I think of Mustangs, the only Mustang I think of is Brandon's.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's 550.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Oh my god, Brandon! The way he does his car, like shout out to Brandon, but like his car is so freaking clean that I'm like, low key, I'm like, damn, you make me want to get a Mustang.
Yeah, you really don't see a lot of
keep on low, but
you really don't see a lot of wide body.
No, like
Mustangs like that. When you do, it's different.
I'm sad, like I'm happy for him that he moved to Texas, but I'm so sad because I'm like, damn, he had like the cleanest domestic car in Illinois, and I would stand on that. Like I tell him all the time, I'm like, I gotta catch up to you, and we do this thing I do with a whole bunch of people where I'm like, I'm trying to be like you,
Yeah,
but like
real. No,
like if I had to choose another like muscle car, it would probably be a Mustang.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because before I got this car, I was actually considering getting a Mustang, but like
That's
I told
funny.
myself, I was like, nah, I gotta get a Camaro again. And I was like, I have to get a Camaro
Yeah.
because like I don't know if you guys know, I had a 2015 for like 7 months.
Oh,
And I only drove it for like 2 months. And then I went to Korea for 9 months because I was in the army.
yeah.
And I told this guy, I was like, hey, like, my car's in storage. Go get some stuff done to it. I'll send you all the money, like, put it back.
Yeah.
So I was in El Paso. This dude drove my car to Houston. And I don't know if you know,
That's
like, how far.
That's
She
far.
knows. So El Paso's the last city on the west side of Texas. Houston's, like, almost one of the first cities on the east side. So
Well,
that's a
It's
12
down
hour,
south by the Gulf.
It's like 12 hours one way. He drove my car to Houston, and if you're listening to this, you know I'm speaking facts, by the way. But
Where are you going, bro?
Damn, like no shops out tour.
he didn't tell me about it either.
Shit.
And then I found out a couple years later he had drove through a toll, and I got it mailed to my parents' house. It was like over $100. I
Jesus.
made him pay for it. But like, long story short, he did everything I told him not to do.
Yeah.
And this one time, I told him, don't put people in my car. Like, just get stuff done to my car, put it back in storage.
Yeah, he-
Trusted the wrong person because he decided to take my car to the club, and he has some girl in there.
Oof.
And
Respect.
he would, I mean, I can't hate the player,
better
I
than
guess.
me.
You know,
You
I
better
can't,
than me.
Yeah. But
You better than me.
And like, I just want to make it clear that I had no type of like that type of relationship.
No,
with
you
this
good.
dude.
You good on that?
But yeah, so he decided to try to show off, and he actually lost control and crashed my car into a handrail, and he caused like $13,000 worth of damage to it. So till this day, this dude's still paying me back. But because of that, I only got to like enjoy that Camaro, which was my first Camaro. It was 2015. I only got to enjoy it for 2 months, and then everything I paid him to do, I never even got to see it.
Yeah,
So like,
you better than me.
yeah, I was in Korea.
You
I'm
got
like,
scrap. You got scrap.
when I tell you, I was like, people sent me this video. So mind you, I was in Korea. I had people in Kuwait. I had people in Killeen, Texas, El Paso, Texas, and people in Korea blowing my phone up. And they're like, hey, this girl posted your car on her like Snapchat story, and that shit's total. And like, he wouldn't send me pictures when I told him. He was like, it's not that bad. It's just a little dent out. And then I saw the video,
Cat.
and I'll show you later. But I saw the
Cat.
video. He demolished this car. And so like,
what happened? He just lost control and
no, he just tried to show off.
Too much power.
And it was a V6. How could you not?
Hey, a V6 would be too much to some people.
But man, like, so like, this is another story. I'm not going to get too much into it. But before that, I had a 2011 Impala. That got wrecked by someone else. And that one ended up on the El
Girl,
Paso
it just
Instagram.
seemed like
Yeah.
your car is just.
I trust too many people. I had too much trust in people. But like, yeah, so that Impala got wrecked, and then like 10 days later I got this Camaro. Then 7 months later, you know,
That
it
one
got
mattered.
totaled. So I went from an 11 to a 15. So like me, I kind of OCD. So I was like, I have to get a 19. But mind you, like, I love the 16 to 18 styles.
Yeah,
Like
16.
I had this whole thing where I was like talking shit about the new like looks on the 19 Camaros and stuff.
But then ended up
And then
getting
after I got it, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not ugly, but like,
Oof.
that's kind of how I got this car. But yeah, like I did consider getting a 2019 Mustang because I also did like the way it looked. But like, I was like, no, I got to be like committed to Camaros. Like I'm loyal to Chevy. Like that's all I had. But that's how that, yeah. But going back to your question, if I had to choose another muscle car, it would
be the Mustang.
It would be a Mustang.
That's good.
The newer bodies, not the 24s,
Yeah.
because I feel like with their taillights,
They're a Camaro girl.
yeah, they lost their like I guess signature look
Yeah.
with their taillights. So
It's because they were just trying to throw some shit together. Let's get this out here before they forget us. Boom.
I mean, what would you choose, Naomi? If you had to choose, like if you had to go domestic, I guess.
Or no, not domestic. Other platform. We could just open it up because you
Maybe, yeah.
drive a KDM here, so you can open that up.
okay, I'll answer both. If I had to choose a domestic, which would never happen, it would be a Ford. And if I had, unlimited amount of money, it'd be a Ford GT. But no, it would be a Mustang. It would be a Mustang, an S550.
What do you mean by that? You say never. What do you mean? What they do? They just ask.
I'm just so I just love the way that the Japanese cars look, or
Yeah.
I mean the Korean. I don't
Yeah,
drive a Korean car,
same
but
thing,
like
same thing.
you know, and if I would probably in the category of like JDM, KDM, Euro, domestic would be last for me. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just love I just love the turbo engines,
Yeah.
the way that the Japanese cars look, and the body styles of them and how they sound, and I don't know. I just love it. And I grew up. My dad, he's always been huge on Toyota, and
Last
he
forever.
owned a Honda Prelude growing up, and that was his baby. And
Which,
so,
which Prelude? This gonna say how old your dad is.
well, he drove '98 Prelude, but but he still talks about to this day. Growing up, he drove. You know, he loved his Pontiac. He owned a Corvette. He had a Camaro.
Yeah, so he know how to
He was-
variety.
oh yeah, he did, and he loves those.
Yeah.
He still talks about the Firebird and all that and all those cars. Yeah, he was kind of wilding back in the day, low key, but
Yeah, mm-hmm.
But
he,
yeah.
he definitely had a mohawk.
oh, he did. He had like the hair. He was like Motley Crue, like total hairband guy. But
Shout out
yeah,
OG.
for
Shout
real.
out OG.
Yeah, no, yeah, actually, but no, I would go with the Mustang if I had to choose domestic. But any car, if I had to go to a different platform, I was thinking about it because with the Genesis being down, I thought long and hard. Jewel knows. A couple people know if they're watching. Shout out for supporting me because it was kind of rough. I was debating moving to a different platform.
Really?
It was more like, okay, so this happened. You know, we had to do either we can engine swap, do rebuild, or just sell it, sell the shell, and move on to a different platform. It was hard. Not gonna lie, I was looking at an R33.
Okay.
I would get that,
Heritage car.
of course.
Knew it.
An E30. E30 is one of my dream cars. That'd be probably my next project car,
Yeah.
honestly. Or an S2K.
AP1, AP2. Got you there.
Yeah.
High revving or just more refined? It's pretty much the choice between AP1 and AP2. That's really how it goes.
See, that's what's hard. It's I'd probably go AP1. But no, I thought long and hard because I've always wanted an Evo. I was even looking at Lexus, but
Don't want them Evo prices.
no, for real. I was looking, and then I saw those prices, and I was like, for this?
Yeah.
And then even this year, I hardly even took the Genesis out because I'm sure, as you guys would understand, the more you modify the car, the less you want to take it out. If it's not sunny, you're like, do I even want to get the car dirty? You know, with it being wide body and all that on it, you just,
Yeah.
But
It becomes what I call a yard ornament.
yeah, right?
Because it's going to cost you more to fix it if it breaks.
That's
versus
exactly it.
If
Yeah.
you drive it normally. Like, that's...
Must be nice.
To the people that drive regular traffic out there, I'm just gonna aim this directly at you. If your shit break a damn tie rod off of it, you can go to AutoZone or Riley and buy that shit. Great. If I break a camber arm that it's fully adjustable, that shit gonna be a minute because now I got to redial in the car. Like they don't understand that. Oh, you got all this camber, yeah. Scraping on them damn leaves hurt too.
Oh,
Like,
exactly.
That's why I hate detailing my car. Like obviously, like I don't have a choice right now.
Yeah.
But like, it's kind of scary because it's like, the more mods I do to it, I'm like, the more I have a chance of like taking that risk of like, you know, like not say I'm a
Don't
reckless driver.
speak on that shit. Don't speak it up.
because you saw what happened. You saw what happened to me.
Yeah. But it's more like I'm scared of other people's driving than mine. And like every time I drive my car, it's like, oh my God, I'm putting more miles on it.
Yeah.
And like,
But it's driven.
but yeah, you know, like I have a choice. It's like save money for a daily or save money for car parts because like at this very moment, I can't do both.
It's more, at least instead of like saying saving money, it's more of like protecting your asset in this sense for like your show build. If you're gonna protect it, buy a daily that you don't care about. It doesn't have to be the nicest thing. It's it's gonna be a separation there where it's like, okay, my daily's dog shit compared to passing power, but it's filling a need that it keeps your Camaro or, you know, your Genesis coupe off the road. It's to make sure that we don't run into that random person. But good luck, everybody. You just avoid that. It's pretty much how it is, which, it's kind of, it's what comes with it.
You know what's crazy? On my way here, I had to take like all these back roads, and I was coming up to a stop, and I see this truck. And I'm just like, are they trying to pass another car? But I'm like, no, like there's no car in front of them. I'm like, why the hell? No, they were coming my way. So it was like a 1-lane road going both ways. This dude's completely on the side where I gotta go, and I'm just like, is he gonna stop? And there's a car behind me. I'm like, should I get around?
Yeah,
he was definitely on his phone.
Yeah, he ain't stopping.
It was crazy.
But man, like, I don't know.
But before we go too far into it, I go ahead and ask. If you ain't here, bro, you know where this going with this. So yeah. So how do you deal with car show politics? Like, how do you deal with it? When I say car show politics, it's more of like intermingling. I'm not gonna say the certain word because if I say it, it's like, oh, he brought it up. But it's
Don't
more
trigger her.
Don't trigger her. So I don't know. Do you want to speak on your experiences too? Because I know like we both deal with it, and like.
When you say car show politics, can you elaborate, like rap versus paint, or like what do you mean?
Reps versus wheels.
Okay.
V6 versus V8.
Got it.
That shit. Yeah.
Okay. Personally, I have not experienced it on the level as Jewel has. Now, if you're asking, are you asking my opinion on these things?
Just asking the opinion.
Okay. Personally, I would never rep any reps. But that being said, though, I know there's a lot of controversy revolving around that. Because I mean, just from other people's experience and just from conversation, I've heard people talk about how the quality may be the same. Or some people just can't afford it, and that is okay in my opinion. I mean, all our builds are, again, a representation of us, and it embodies us.
Right.
And if you want to buy the wheels that don't cost $4,000, like my work wheels, all the power to you. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when I first started building my Genesis, I bought the lips off eBay and the diffuser off eBay, and it worked well for me until you move up. I mean, with wrap, y'all know my car's been wrapped twice, about to be wrapped 3 times, all within less than a year at least, or within a year.
At least you stand on top of it.
But I mean, I don't know if depending on where you go, the paint, your wrap is going to, if it's going to look like paint, I'm gonna get it.
Right.
With shout out to Coalition Auto Lab. Miguel, you're awesome. Yes. He really, I mean, they do a wonderful job. It looks like paint. It really does. I'm not gonna pay the paint prices. And then even if my car was painted, because I really did debate getting a custom paint done, then I'm gonna go get it PPF'd and all this stuff anyway. Yeah. And I'm not gonna want to drive it. I'm not gonna let it sit outside.
Then you're gonna be looking at your car like, damn, I spent $10,000 on this shit.
Right. And then I want to change the color already.
No, you're better off a wrap.
Right.
Shout out Coalition, though. But
for real.
They do an amazing job. I've seen a lot of his cars, at least that he's wrapped, and it's I can't think of his name. I think it's Ethan. Ethan, bro, I can't think of your Instagram right now. I don't know if it's Boogs or whatnot, but his car looks beautiful.
His car,
looks beautiful. The purple one. It looks good.
They did so good on that one. They've done so many. Like, they did Brandon, Tony, right? Tony.
Caesar, Chris, mine. They have done so many people's cars, and I'm looking forward to the opening. I know y'all are closed right now because you're moving shops. Yeah, but they've done a wonderful job, and I think shops like that with professional installation are easily overseen by the shops that don't do well. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I've had a couple people ask, I mean, is it worth wrapping your car? In my opinion, it is. But I say at the end of the day, it depends on where you go and the material you use also.
Right.
It also depends on how well you take care of it.
Right.
And the weather always plays a part in it too, especially in Illinois with the snow and salt. Yep. Like if you daily yours like I do, you take more of a chance of I guess I want to say ruining it, but the longevity of it will probably be less than someone who keeps their car in the garage and stuff like that. But I do plan on going to them with V3 version of my car. It's just not gonna it's not happening this upcoming season because I just want to save everything for like
Take your time.
25.
Like, what's the
of
need to
course.
rush?
She knows she knows every single thing I'm about to do to this car, and it's gonna be a huge game changer. That's for sure.
You gonna keep that hush hush.
Oh
bro.
yeah.
It's best off to leave it that way.
But yeah, no, I'm trying to think what else about the, like car politics. And, some people aren't for wide bodies. I say wide body the world personally. I think wide bodying my car is one of the best things I've ever decided to do for the car. But yeah, I mean, as far as like at a car show and people interacting with me, I don't think I've had anyone say anything, at least to my face.
Yeah. No, more
Yo, chill, don't trigger me.
Most of the time, that shit's on the internet.
Right, exactly.
It's
That's
easier because it's easy because a lot of things that people want to say they never really say, at least in person. Because if they do that, now they got to deal with that. Like, damn, I got to actually deal with the interaction of them getting mad. Like, the fuck you think was supposed to happen? You think I'm supposed to be like,
Right.
oh, thanks? Like, no.
Of course. I mean,
say
there are some there's some people out there that are brave.
souls,
They'll say stuff to you, but
I
I
love
mean,
that.
as far as like the things where people have said like, oh, it's an automatic, blah blah blah, which I mean, like we're still on that. We're all still on that. Automatics, manual, what does it matter?
Shit, is your car automatic? Is my question. Like you say that shit. If you driving a goddamn Toyota Prius, I don't want to hear shit about automatic. Oh,
Right.
oh, this is my grandmother's Tercel. Yes, the Toyota's Tercel, old
Yeah.
as fuck, but who cares? You know what the fuck I mean when I say it. But yeah, but Joel, how about you? What shit do you deal with?
I mean, I'll have to add to. We can touch on this later. Is maybe being like a female in the car community too.
Like I feel like. So mind you, I've only been in the car scene for like a year, maybe a little over a year, and like shout out to Josh because we.
Oof.
The homie, the guy himself, but like him and I actually met at this anime shop by like where I live in Kenosha, and they were having some type of Halloween event, and at that time I had the Itasha rep.
Yeah.
And like, he was telling me, he was like, yeah, we go to car shows, we compete, and like, with my car, I was just like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Let's try this out.
And like, he told me about Stanton on Lowe's event in like May.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah, like
Shout
like
out Alex.
yeah. So like, like I was like, okay, like, and like I ended up joining Ronin and stuff like that. And like the very first meet I went to, like, like I'm not as like social when I just first meet people in a whole new scenery. So like, like Josh was like the only person I talked to or knew at the time. And everybody was super friendly. Like, but even at my first show, I got so much hate that I didn't even know about till later on. And I feel like it's because of being a female. Like, and it's like, I'm not saying this is everyone, but it's like people's significant others didn't like me. I'm like, wait, I didn't even I was like, why don't you like me? Like, what did I do? I didn't say nothing to you
Jealousy.
or your boy. I'm just like, okay.
It's more or less jealousy.
Yeah,
in some
but
sense.
I mean, like, as far as like car shows and stuff, like, I feel like the most ideal with is just like the V6 hate. Like, if we're being completely honest, and like, I guess like my wheels, but like again, like like
because of like you have heritage wheels or
yeah, and like I guess the size of it, but like. In all reality, I was like, when I saw those wheels, I fell in love with it because I fell in love. And like, I was still debating, like, do I want to be like in that group with 3-piece wheels and stuff? And at the time, it was no. Because like, I knew I wanted to do some stuff with my car, but I wasn't for sure about it. But like, yeah, like with heritage wheels, the ones I have, they only had them in 18s. If they had them in bigger sizes, I would have went for them.
Right.
But I refused to also like, compromise with wheels that I didn't want at the time. So that's why I was like, okay, I'll just still stick with 18s. And then people are like, oh my God, her wheels are so small. Like she has 18s and stuff like that. But like, I guess like as far as shows, it's just like, I don't even get that much hate, to be honest. Like this year, I definitely put myself out there more.
Yeah.
Like
That's definitely.
I definitely did put myself out there more. Like, I don't know why. Last October, like I guess the 2022 season at Import Face Off, and again, shout out to them because like they're super cool. I love the way they host events and interact with people. I saw the burnout competition. I asked the models, I was like, should I join it? And they're like, girl, no, your car's so pretty. But then Keegan, he was like, fuck yeah, dude, join it. I was like, well, I don't know how to do moving burnouts. And he's like, just go for it. Just go for it. And like I did horrible. I did so bad but like I told myself, I was like, I gotta just keep joining. I was like, I want to learn how to do burnouts and stuff like that. And like, I never practiced it. Like I never went to a track on my off time. It's like if a show had burnouts,
You just
I'll
jumped
be
in
there.
there.
That's your practice.
That was my practice.
That's how
And
you're
then-
supposed to do it, though.
And then, like,
supposed
even in that scene, I made so many friends. I made so many friends with burnout people, with drifters, and like I got cool with them. And then, like, eventually I got it. Like,
Right.
I got that car to spin. Like, I got that car to spin.
You really did. You were like, I'm gonna whip this hallway.
She was always my passenger princess. And like the last one, no, for real. And like the last one was at Import Face Off. It was a stationary one. When I tell you, I pushed that car to the limits. Like, I think it said it was like going like 110 miles per hour stationary.
Yeah.
And then
No,
like
it literally said your engine is overheating, and
it
she
was like,
just kept
it
going.
was like
And I
chill-
was like, Jewel,
my car was like chill the fuck out and like stop. But like after I blew a tire, because I was so committed,
Yeah, like,
I
fuck it.
wanted to blow that tire. So after I did it, I was like, all right, I'll stop. And then like everything came out in my dash. It was a whole Christmas tree.
Yep.
And I'm like, ooh. But no, like like I didn't really like, I guess, deal with too much. My goal was never to like like be like the very best one out there, like the very best like domestic and stuff. Like, mind you, I did win best Chevy. I've won a couple like best female entries and stuff like that. That was never expected, but it's always appreciated.
Yeah.
But like it was more about just like learning, because like I don't know everything in the
Right.
car scene. Like I don't know
You
a lot
never,
about
you never will, though.
yeah,
either.
yeah.
It's a lot.
But like
It's a lot coming with it.
it was more just like enjoying it, because like again, if Josh never showed me this, I would have never been able to modify my car or know exactly what I wanted to do with my car or how to get there.
Right.
But like you always have those one or twos. Like I don't again, not everyone, because I made more friends than enemies.
Right.
But
You
you always
always
have those
have-
people that just hate to see you win.
Yep.
They
You
just
always
hate.
gotta opt.
They just hate to see you do better than them. And like, I had people tell me like last year before the season started, they're like, "You're making stupid purchases, like this, that, and the third." But the stupid purchases that they told me I'm making was my moneymaker the whole year. Like everybody loved everything about
Right.
it. Again, like I don't do this for anyone, but I just thought that was kind of funny and ironic, because it's like you have so much hate for my car, but it's like those people don't put themselves out there as
No.
much as like, Naomi and I would do. Like we socialize with anybody.
Right.
We will go like, we will talk to whoever comes up to me. I will go up to people and talk to them too. And like,
Put my Carmax on. I don't do chap lips. They won't work.
no, I know I forgot my
I forgot mine in the
my
car.
chapstick in the car, so my lips
My
are
bad.
struggling right now.
But no, it's like, like I guess like no matter how you see it, no matter how good you do or like how clean your car is, people's egos will always get in the way. And they just hate to see like, somebody with I guess like a less power car do better than them, especially if it's a female. And that's just my opinion. Again, it's not like going towards everyone, because
Right.
I've met people who are like getting like best of show, best of like best KDM, best JDM and stuff, who are like extremely humble. They don't let that stuff get to their
Right.
heads. But I don't know, in my opinion, I'm gonna just say it. It's always the older people. It's always the older people who have some beef against like us like 20-year-olds, like us in our 20s.
It's the difference between the generations.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I don't get it. But it's just
Yeah.
like, like
It's kind of how, well, y'all younger than me, so I'm a millennial. So it's kind of like how we view boomers. It's like, hey, you guys do this. We do things different versus like you guys. Well, I'm not sure if it's Gen Z. I ain't doing all that Gen Y, whatever.
Yeah.
I ain't doing all that shit. It's just a difference. It's a difference in the passes of time. I call them the gatekeepers of things because they do things a certain way. They don't understand that, hey, maybe your way ain't going to work today. It may have worked back then, but it ain't going to work right now. Like, this is what we're trying to do. But a lot of it, too, like I said before, it's jealousy. A lot of it is just
for sure,
from the
for
fact
sure.
of it
Yeah,
is, it's just,
100%.
I can't do the same shit and be able to get a good reaction out of a good success out of it, too. But also, to kind of hang off the point a little bit with the interactions. You put your car in positions to perform where a lot of people with those says V8s or whatever will never do. Like if you did that
They
shit,
had the opportunity too all year, like all the times, but
did
they would never
do it?
take it.
But
They
did
would
they
never
do it?
take
Is the question.
Yeah.
They never did it.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't.
That's true.
You can't speak to it
Right,
if you've
why
never
you-
done it. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like you got to do it. It's like okay, oh man, you ain't never drifted before a day in your life. It's like, motherfucker, you don't drift either. I see your shit out here on Laughlin in Chicago. Like, bro, you don't drift either. You know what I mean? But it's more or less like what are you doing to really complain about somebody else doing something else? It's really the thing that you have to think about too. But also, it's always going to be that person. And you kind of got to feed off of it, which in your case, in your situation, you built off of it.
Yeah.
You took that and like, you know what? I'm going to run with this shit. This is what I'm going to do. And it worked to the point of like, I'm going to keep doing me. I'm not going to worry about what the fuck you doing and what they doing. I'm going to do me the entire time. And you never really let it get to you, which was perfect.
Yeah.
But it's also like, damn, this motherfucker won't leave me alone either. It's like shit. What?
Can I say this? Okay.
You can say whatever you want.
So you remember I said this. I was like, like if I had a dick, this dude would, like these people would be riding it right now because the way they be shit talking me on like social media and
That's
stuff.
groupies, man.
I'm like, bro, at this point, like they could ride it because like I was like, I'm
Pause.
chilling.
Sorry, that was an opportunity. I'm not gonna miss.
That was the time for the sound effects.
Yeah, I had to say pause. I get it.
No, but like because like one thing I refuse to do is go on social media and beef with people that are irrelevant to me.
Right.
So like the whole time, all this and that was going on, like, like people want to swear up and down, like, oh, she doesn't like me because this car and stuff. I'm like, bro, like, I could care less.
Yeah.
And like, I made that abundantly clear this year. I'm like, all I'm here for is a good time. Like, like I'm here to have fun.
Shit, like Drake said, is a top 2 and I'm not 2. So what that tell you? Like I'm out here winning, Playboy.
Yeah, but I
it.
mean, like, and like I still plan to be that way, like, like this upcoming season, like I'm gonna do a few things to my car, but it's not gonna be anything like super, super major because 2025, I promise you, I'm gonna make these people hate me even more. Like it's gonna be insane. If I can manage to do everything I plan to do, it's like these people are gonna hate my guts, and it's like
don't put in the what if. Speak that shit to existence. Say I'm gonna do that shit.
Yeah, but it's just like at the end of the day, I'm still gonna be who I am.
Right.
Which is like I'm not gonna like feed into your hatred towards me,
right.
And like again, like like I am gonna focus on like winning and like competing, but my ultimate goal will always to be to have fun.
It's a good space heater though. Shit, it's cold outside. Let they hate warm your house up. Shit.
Yeah, because I promise you, like, if my focus was just winning, I would have never met Naomi.
Right.
And like me and her met because of Efren, I think. Like, I think because like he posted your photo and I followed you. But like, it was at Import Face Off.
It was
maybe?
Import Face Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went up to her. I was like, hey, do you want to hop in my car during the burnout? And then we've been like tight ever since, you know? And I'm all about socializing with people. I'm all about like, making memories and stuff. And I'm glad I am the way I am because again, like I wouldn't have met all the people I met this year.
Right.
So, I mean, like, as far as like, what do I deal with to go back to your answer?
Yeah.
I'm always going to deal with hate because I have a V6.
It's a part of
but at
life,
the end of the
yeah.
day, it's like,
It's a part of the car community
Yeah.
though. It's just something. It's something that's gonna be here afterward. So it's.
But
just
I mean,
something
like,
that comes
at the
with.
end of the day, like, if people are going to always talk about power, they can meet me on the track.
Which track we talking about though? We got
Shit, Rockford's closed, so like we can go to Joliet,
RP
we could go
Speedway.
wherever. Like like even if I take a L, like I'll respect you if you.
At least you went.
Yeah, like if you meet me on the track, I'll respect you. I'll shut the fuck up. But until then, it's like
I don't
if you're
know
gonna
about
just
that.
talk.
I don't know about that shit. Though.
But I mean, like if we're being real, like like people hate to accept the fact that I did beat a V8 earlier this year in like the spectator drag race. People will always hate to like admit that. And like even with the track hawk,
You
that
need
one.
to add in though. You went toe to toe with a fucking track hawk on an oval
For
track.
real.
Yep.
Like,
And, like-
not many people can keep up with them.
You know what?
That was a V6 though.
I still have all the videos, but like he gapped the fuck out of me. I'm not gonna lie, but like at the very end, I was on his ass.
You were.
and like I was like truly on his ass.
The man had a fucking blower though. Like it's expected in the straight line. That's really where he beat you at was in the straight.
Yeah.
Because when he went into the corners, that's when that gap started to dissipate
When
a
I
little bit.
tell you, I was full sending it. Like nobody was in my car because they didn't allow it.
Right.
But like you've been in my car. I have like a picture of my dogs and like my army stuff in there. When I tell you I was full sending this car to like the max, everything was shaking, shit was falling down. I was like, I just got to keep up with this guy.
Random plug right quick. Shout out to Omega Auto Service.
Omega,
your car, your car dialed in. Your car dialed in.
Yeah, I did want to like give them a shout out because like Omega, they are like, I would recommend them to anyone, even if you have like, you know, you're not into like cars like that, because they will do like whatever needs to be done to your car. And like, you know, with them, like Marco or Tony, who are like, however you
It
like,
don't matter, they family over there.
that's the gang right there. You know, like they know my plans and they're excited for it. I'm excited to give them my car. Like they're going to have my car for like a week, I guess, just for like next season stuff. Yeah. But like, yeah, definitely shout out to them too. Okay.
Respect. What about you, Miss Naomi? Yeah.
I feel like I talk too much compared to you.
Yeah, Naomi trying to go under and be like, I ain't trying to say nothing. She don't like being in the spotlight, but that spotlight.
Yeah, I'm like much of like I like to be there, not
observe.
Yeah, right. I'm more of an observer. But what you mean? What do you mean? What?
Yeah. What about you, man? What about you? What your plans are for 2024, 2025? Are you similar to like Joel in the sense of kind of trying to lay back a little bit in 2024 and going hard?
I'm full sending. Yeah, no. Right now, I'm deciding on what I want to do as far as my plans with the engine, whether that be engine swap or just rebuilding it or purchasing another one. I don't know. I just know I want to get this car back on the road. But I mean, I will have to admit, and everyone who knows me knows that I have been wanting more power out of this car, because everyone's like, oh, you know, it looks so fast, and I'm like, it's not, it's slow as hell. I was like, and I don't want to push it because the engine. But yeah, right. No, that's exactly it. But no, I'm looking forward to this next season. I mean, to touch base with Jewel, I mean, I really do enjoy shows. The awards are like the last thing I even think about. I mean, I'm honored to even be considered or get one, but at the end of the day, I go for the memories, I go for the people, I go to learn new things, I go to check out the cars. And I think that a lot of that gets lost now.
Clout is
it's the clout, it's the social media, it's the trends, you know, and everybody's shitting on like, oh, you know, all the cars now are like cookie cutter builds and whatnot. And at the end of the day, I try not to listen to all that, just because if you're going to go to a show and all you care about is winning and all the awards, and then you're pissed and you go home, what's the point? What's the point?
I just look at it like this. Your drive is to win at that show. Where that trophy at 6 months from now.
Exactly. It's a material, $5 trophy maybe, and it sits on your shelf. Mine are sitting on a shelf collecting dust. And it's like, okay, cool. I mean,
yeah, if your cat or dog has seen that trophy more than your ass in 6 months, pretty sure that shit don't mean nothing. Right. That's pretty much how I look at it. I care less about it. I really don't.
Your 5 seconds of clout, and then you take it home, and then on to the next one.
Yeah, it's like, are people actually going to remember you and who you are?
That's exactly it, right? No. So at the end of the day, I think again, it gets lost. I don't know. It's hard because it's easy to be negative, I think. I mean, and instead of building each other up, a lot of it is just, you know, their car is a clapped out shit box on reps, and, you know, the car sounds like a fart can. I mean, okay, regardless, they like the car. That's what they want to do. At the end of the day, what is your opinion going to matter?
Right.
And it sucks all the fun out of it. I hate being around people who pout and get pissed and like want to go cry on a corner because they don't take home an award. Like, I don't want to be around you.
Shit, they be crying on the internet the whole time. Man.
Or like when they message the organizers and they're like, "Whoa, like, what is this about?" Like,
that shit make everybody look bad as a
exactly.
whole. It make the whole community look bad as a whole. Like, okay, cool, you were bitching and complaining, but you lose in the end. You lose overall as a whole. Because now it's like, okay, Chicago's like this.
Right.
Washington ain't like this, or Texas ain't like this. Chicago's like this, though. They don't win at a show.
The trophy chasers.
Oh, it's so bad. Damn, they didn't like my 3-piece wheels. No. Because the rest of the car, look, if I can go into your car's dealership, whatever manufacturer make that, if I go into that dealership and I can see one of them motherfuckers on the showroom floor, that ain't a build, bro. Like, in a sense, that's the comparison. And also, you got to remember, it takes the overlook of that show, too. Like, like everybody that was complaining about slammed enough. Yes, I'm bringing the Gatlinburg shit up right now with
the
best
Charger?
of show. That Charger. When you look at every piece that was touched on that vehicle, yes, I get it. Certain cars have fucking beautiful wraps, beautiful wheels. Your windows up, though. Your hood closed. Your trunk closed. I see your trunk set up. Beautiful. I can see this guy's headliner. I can see this guy's interior from the seats to the floorboard to the shifter to the cup holder. He got cup holders that match the, Game of Thrones. Your cup holders look like some shit. I can go into fucking Harbor Freight and buy some shit. Like, it's not the same. When they say build, they mean overall. Nobody does overall because that shit costs a lot of money for one. But a lot of it, you haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Until you do it and you have to deal with that. I don't want to hear this shit about, he should have won. He should have won. Like, I never thought a lot of motherfuckers care for glizzies like that. But shit, if we're going to be doing that shit, bro, just grab one. Shit, we all in this bitch together. But it's like, the person who car it is, if they lost to that car, they lost to that car. If you hate the car, say it. Fine, cool. It's reps, whatever. He still won that shit, though. And y'all didn't beat him. So, like, hey, get y'all ass back in line. Let's run this shit back. It's pretty much how you got to look at it. So, 2024, Gatlinburg, I see y'all ass there. If y'all motherfuckers ain't there, I don't want to hear it.
You know what? I know you and I both talked about, personally at this moment, I'm not going to enter my car, but I know we spoke about trying to get out there this year because we didn't go this year.
Yeah, I'm going to go regardless.
So kind of going off of that, because I know you asked some of your previous podcast people, like, what was your favorite shows this season?
I was going to ask that. Yeah. Why don't you go for
What was yours?
Yeah,
what was yours?
And mine weren't local. I can definitely tell you
That's
that.
fair.
One of them were, ironically, I'm wearing a hoodie, Riverside. It's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Riverside is one of my best shows. They don't give awards there, actually. It's just a vibe. A bunch of people coming from everywhere across the globe just enjoying it, networking, talking. Like, granted, it's going to sound all like, oh, it's normal. Alex from Martini Works. I met him, so I had to talk to him for a minute. Got to talk to Gels and them too. I got to talk to the Basic Click guys. Also, my homies, that's Spicy Boys. Shout out Ryan. Yeah, that's my homie. I got to talk to him for a little bit before the event's kind of, carried on. But you meet a lot of people that you won't see here. That's kind of the benefit of Riverside. Let me not go too far into it, but I'm going to just say Riverside is the one before I go too far. The second one would be Gatlinburg. It's not the show, though, why I enjoy Gatlinburg. A lot of it came with a lot of, I guess you could say, bullshit this year with that takeover shit that happened. But the scenery in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, all that shit, it's different. You don't see that here in the Midwest. It's like we got mountains. You get to look over overlooks. That you don't get that here. That shit's beautiful compared to seeing a big-ass high-rise building. I've been seeing this shit forever. It's windy as fuck, cold as fuck. This shit boring here. Like, it's not nothing compared to that. So I would say those two. I would mainly say those two were my favorite shows out of the entire calendar would be them two.
Okay.
So how about yourself, Naomi? What shows would you say?
Oh, gosh. I try to make a goal to go out to shows that I've never been before. So if I'm able to get the car back up by 24, I definitely want to go out of state. Because I'm so, you see the same people, you see the same shows, and it's like, although it's fun, don't get me wrong, you're like, okay, we've seen this before.
Did you guys go to like Indiana this year?
We did. One of the members in Elevate, he sent out, it was a small local show, and it was fun, not gonna lie. I mean, the drive there was a little rough, because we had to go through like Gary, and it's like right on the border.
Roads ass.
That was bad. I was like, I'm gonna debead right now. I'm gonna debead. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy Slam Enough. I mean, I love the staff. I mean, I really got to connect with the staff, and
shout out
for real. Like y'all really chill. And Import Face Off is always one of my favorites too. I just love the vibes. I love their energy.
So slept on too.
I think so too.
Like they're so slept on.
The prices for Import is not bad, but
it's because it's more of like it's kind of like a streetcar takeover in a sense. It's similar to more of a race setting. In certain events, certain places, it's like that. It's why it's kind of like it's 50-50. You don't really get as many car show people at Airport Face Off as you do like, I would say Streetcar Takeover. Streetcar Takeover hasn't come up here though. They've been more south, closer to Missouri, that like southern Illinois, more than they have been up here. I mean, it ain't worth really coming up here. It's pretty much why they don't do it. or they just haven't yet. I don't personally know. That's really that. But you continue. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you think about Illinois or Chicago itself, we really don't have that many shows.
No.
I've always enjoyed Tuner Evo, too. That's one. But yeah, Slammed Enough, Import Face Off, Tuner Evo. I'm gonna check out Whackfest this year if they're gonna be here.
I don't think they're going to actually.
Oh really? Okay, then never mind.
Yeah,
I was gonna go last year, but I didn't get to make it.
Yeah, they're supposed to. I'm assuming either they didn't announce it or they're gonna be somewhere else around the time that they were here this year in 23. So I don't think I haven't heard anything. I've been looking myself.
Yeah.
I don't see anything on their tour for 24.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Dang. I haven't yet been to Tuner Galleria either.
I have not
but I
either.
hear good things about it. I hear mixed things about that.
Yeah, because it's more of a.
It's so early in the year.
It's very
Yeah.
early in the year, yeah.
It's a lot of it's weather driven, and a lot of it's also based off of I guess you could say, it's more of a domestic show. It's more of World of Wheels than it is.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, an import show. Touring Gallery is less a day. World of Wheels goes
The whole week or something,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
4 days
it's
or
like,
something?
Yeah, about 3-4 days. It usually starts like Thursday, Friday. It goes into it. So yeah, but no. But to finish up, Jewel, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make this quick. So this was the first year I went to Slammed Enough or entered my car. So like that was nice, but I would say my favorite ones definitely Import Face Off because again, the way they host events and stuff, they interact with everyone. They like make sure to make it fun. And I'm always a fan of shows that have more than just car shows.
Right.
Like I feel like
You want more diversity. With
yeah,
it.
I like the diversity and stuff like that because I feel like I made more friends at those shows. But I will also say Elite Tuner was a really good one this year.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that too because I finally got my spins down that one. I think that
good.
was my best moving burnout that I entered this year. And I would say Tuner Evo because that event I interacted with so many people, even the host. And like as you guys know, like, you know, that was like kind of around the time I announced that I was taking my wrap off and I wasn't going to do Itasha's anymore
Right.
because I was going for a new look. And I made this like custom, like I painted it myself. I made that trunk display. And I just told them, I was like, hey, like, yeah, like, if you want to sign it, go ahead. I had hundreds of people like I had vendors putting stickers on it. I had the event host giving me like posters and putting their stickers and signing it. Like I just interacted with so many people at that show that it just made it so much more fun. Like, again, like, you know, the more you interact, the less you care about winning. It's all about,
That's right.
you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I would say that personally was my favorite this year just because of the interactions. But I would say like the event itself, I would say like, you know, Slammed Enough, Import Face Off, and Elite Tuner did a really good job as well.
Okay.
I don't know. Hopefully next year. No, I'll say this. Next year we will go to GAT.
Oh no,
There
I'm
we
definitely
go.
gonna be there. Yeah,
Speak
no.
that shit.
Before that stuff gets
Yeah.
before you know.
I just
there's
gotta
no
figure
more-
out what to do with the dogs because I'm not bringing those crackheads.
Shit.
But we will definitely make our way out there just to experience it. Hopefully they do have it. You know, like because I know there's controversy again. That
It is going to
yeah.
happen.
Yeah, it definitely.
It's
It's unfortunate. I mean, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's
it's
part of the
just-
reason why I get kind of nervous driving the Genesis around because I don't know if I'm gonna get pulled over just for driving my car the way it looks and then get kind of profiled in a way to say like, oh no,
Take over.
take over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, here's your ticket.
Yeah, it's definitely.
It's unfortunate.
It's
I mean,
definitely
yeah,
unfortunate.
and then like goes into play. I mean, social media I think it has its pros and cons, especially with like clout chasing, takeover
Yep.
culture, and like negativity surrounding the car community. But I mean, in my opinion, I find more pros, and I've learned again to tune out like any of the
The
negative. But yeah, at the end of the day, it brought me my friends, the car community, Team Elevate, my close friends, and I've been able to network, learn, and grow. And now I have like a couple sponsors, and this would not have happened if I didn't. As silly as it sounds, start an Instagram for my car. Which for non-car people, they're like, "What? Your car has an Instagram? This makes no sense."
Yeah.
Yeah. Which like a lot of my friends that are just people that don't know anything about cars but follow my page, which respect to y'all, I appreciate the support. They're like, why?
Oh, I just deleted like all my other stuff before I joined the car scene. I was like, they don't need to see that anymore. It's just like now solely like all about my car and stuff. But like, yeah, I mean, I guess to like conclude my opinion, you know, like as a female in the car scene, I feel like we're always gonna get hate. But like at least like Naomi and I, we don't let that shit like, you know, affect how we are and what we do. And at this point, it's
Treacherous
just,
Twinz, like Drake said.
we're besties. This is the besties right here. You know, you got the KDM queen and stuff, but like
Burnout Queen. You've alluded that for the past hour. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got to take that title with you, fam.
You know, I'm always do these burnouts in heels. Like that's always gonna be a thing. But like, yeah, you know, like we're always gonna get hate. You know, her hate's different than mine, but it's always gonna be hate against us. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know,
Y'all still winning.
yeah, and it's like you're not gonna change how we are and what we do and like how our car looks. So
Right.
I mean, it's like at the end of the day, it's like my opinion is like you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, and you're just gonna give yourself more gray hairs by like stressing over us. You know, like. If you're in the car scene, do what you need to do to your car, but also have fun. Stop worrying about other people. Stop worrying about like who's winning, who's not. Like, you know, like you're losing the whole point of being at a show. And that's what I'm gonna say about it.
And that's easily misconstrued too. I know we have to wrap it up, but
Yeah.
I think it's so easy to forget why we're in it because of the surrounding environment and community. And then sometimes you just have to, like myself, with my engine and my car being down, I have to say too, shout out to Nick, because without you, I wouldn't be able to get the engine out as fast as I could, as fast as, you know, we did. But with the car being gone and it being some days that were nice that I could take the car out and I can't, it makes you really appreciate it. And you know, you just got to think about it's for you and at the end of the day for no one else.
Indeed. But to finish up this, I just want to say this to you both. Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you
For one.
for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And secondly, before we end this all, I just want to say this. The purpose of the car community is just to remember we're passing the torch for the next generation of kids to get into it, for them to actually love it, rather than it die and we don't have anything else to really look back on, to be like, oh, we have this.
Right.
It's kind of that.
Of course. And, you know, one more thing I'll just add and then I'm done.
Yep.
You know, I think about like the legacy I want to leave behind. I don't know about y'all, but,
Yeah.
you know, when it's all said and done, after the car shows, it's like, how do you want to be remembered? I don't want to be remembered as some stuck-up girl who, you know, cares all about winning and like talking shit on others and bringing other people down. Like, that's not why we're here. We're here to come together as a community. And again, I think it just is easily to get, you know, misconstrued and yeah.
Yeah, I just want to be remembered for wearing a cowboy hat and crumble sockers.
Here, I'll wear my cowboy hat for you too.
I appreciate you. I left mine.
Oh, dang.
But yeah, thank you for having us.
Thanks,
it was a
Weezy.
pleasure.
This was awesome.
Thank you again, ladies.
All right.
All right.
Talk to you later.